This is not particularly great. But we're live. We should be live by now. So that is a thing. Are we? We are. Okay. So if there's anybody here even anymore, I'm 15 minutes late. That is because I started up the emulator for the Dragon Ball Z Team Trainer. And apparently it just hadn't saved after the last stream. And I forgot to save state to be sure. So yeah. Then I tried to find a cheat code to get everybody like rare can meet up to level 50 so that I could just absolutely stomp everything and be back where we were in about half an hour. At least to like getting Broly again. I'd probably just give myself another Master Ball for that, right? The cheat code I found didn't work. So then I tried to just see what I had installed in Steam. And I figured Blacksmith Fantasy Workshop Simulator 2035 or something like that. It's something where you make fantasy weapons. Like you make swords and shit and you're just a blacksmith. When I tried to capture that with OBS, my PC shut down. So I figured, you know what, fuck it, we're just gonna do some grinding in Kingdom Hearts 3. Because the first world I've done, yeah, I don't care about you, Chippendale. The first couple of episodes I've recorded, which is everything Olympus so far, I've been getting my ass handed to me, like, over and over and over and over again. So we're just gonna be grinding a bit in here instead. Yeah, that all happened in 15 minutes. So I'm not particularly happy, to say the least. That was really not fun. I did also... I was like 5 minutes late as is, because I was a bit hungry, so I want to get like a pre-stream snack. But by the time I came back home to actually eat that snack, that is way too loud, I'm so sorry. To actually eat that, I was already late for the stream, so now I'm late and hungry. It's the greatest combination ever. So that was a thing. At least I guess I've got breakfast for tomorrow. There's not going to be any enemies around here, I'm guessing, right? Wait a second, I have a gummy phone now. That's not what I wanted to do. Which button is the gummy phone? I don't know. So this is what we're going to do. I don't know if we're going to do a full 2-hour stream today, either as a direct result of the same bullshit that happened, and just as long as this is entertaining and fun to do, I'll do this. Anyhow, oh, there's enemies around here. That's good to know. Where are they now? Are they up here? Where are they? Surely they're down here then. They are. Okay. Well, I guess I'll grab my Switch for background action. However, Vlogger, you can pick. I can pick Digimon or Bayonetta 2. Is there a good Digimon game? Because I know there's a Digimon game on Steam which piqued my interest a while ago. Just as a passing interest. I don't really like Digimon too much, honestly. It's not like I dislike it. It's just... I've tried to get back into the anime in like modern times, and it's really not that good, is the thing. At least the original, like, probably like... It's probably from the... It's not the 80s, is it? It's 90s. It's definitely 90s. But the animation quality doesn't look it. That original Digimon anime, it's just not that good. It just didn't keep my interest. I gave it like 5 episodes, which that's over an hour of watch time in, right? If you can't capture my attention within an hour, more than an hour, in fact, of content, you're doing something horribly wrong. Or, well, at least I don't like it. It doesn't necessarily mean that what you made is bad. It's just not for me, I guess. I know there's more modern Digimon anime, so maybe that is something worth looking into. But I just don't know. That was very satisfying to do. There's a reboot of the original Digimon anime at the moment. Is it better than the original? Because I'm hoping that it is, right? Because otherwise, why the hell would you reboot it? But I do remember liking it. It's just like the voice acting and the animation and the pacing of everything of it is just not that great. And that's really, that just threw me off. So I didn't finish. I didn't even finish the first season rewatching it. Same with Metabots, actually. A while ago, I started work on a Metabots video. It's not what I wanted to do, but sure. I started working on Metabots video. I talked about this in the Discord server, I'm pretty sure, as well. And I wanted to rewatch the original Metabots series for it. It's just really fucking boring. So was the game, actually. The game I played was also really fucking boring, so I never actually finished that video. Or that game, for that matter, because it wasn't that good. And I know that I play a bad game. For the love of God, I'm still working on a Dungeon Dice Monsters video. And let me tell you, it's not that good. But it's not good in a fun way. The Digimon... not the Digimon game. There might be a fun Digimon game for all I know. The Metabots game I played was just boring. More streamlined, more focus on the main characters. That's good. I might give that a chance then. I might give that a chance. I'm not going to use the hero's origin that much, but might as well. Just for shits and giggles, because what the fuck else are we going to do? I could also just stream 2 hours of Yozora attempts on my other save file. That is a thing that I could do. I now realize. I probably shouldn't have said that out loud, because that's also not a bad idea. I'm not gonna beat Yozora because it's a bullshit fight. But I might just like do a data fight or two. Like the fun data fights, I could do those. Was the Metabots game the GBA version? Because that one really takes time. I wasn't looking at the screen in critical mode. That's a very big mistake. There's multiple GBA games. The one I remember is a action platformy. Let's just do this. Oh, that's... Oh, the shot lock. That is correct. Okay, never mind. The one I remember... Wait a second. I have... Death. That's not the one I played. The one I played was the turn-based RPG. Which... I see potential in like the underlying systems where you can like put on parts onto your body and you have multiple skeletons all and then the metals with own unique properties, but it takes a fucking mortal age to get started and the combat system just isn't that interesting or intricate to the point where it captured me. And I was like 3 hours in when I gave up, which again, if I get that far into a game without it being able to capture me, I feel justified in not caring. Did I hear Metabots? I love that show. I had a few toys. I had a lot of Metabots toys as a kid. I have no idea where they went, actually. Probably thrown out. I loved it. Fucking loved it. To the point where, I don't know if that's related, but, does anybody remember I don't know what it's called anymore, but it sounded kind of similar. It pretty much was an anime based on people who have these like little toys that shoot marbles, and that was just the whole premise of the anime. It started with like also something with like a bee, not Metabots, not Meta bee. It was something. I don't remember what it's called. For some reason, my idiot kid brain thought those two things were related. And I became a fan of the second one as well. I'll be totally honest with you. Looking back at it, just trying to explain what it is, it's really fucking stupid. But then again, most anime-related stuff is. Beatman, that was it. Yeah, that was real stupid. Wasn't there also like was the teacher a cat? I seem to remember that teacher being a cat. I seem to remember something like that. Am I mixing this up with yet another anime? It's not Dragon Ball. We have a cat teacher in Dragon Ball. I am aware of that, but that's not what I'm thinking. Is that what I'm thinking of? No, because this was a fat cat. This was definitely a fat cat, and I know Corin also, a bit chubby, but still. The teacher was a cat. I remember something correctly, holy crap. That actually kind of amazes me, to be honest. I also had a lot of those Beatman toys, and that is the... Like, Metabots definitely had a lot of, like, merchandise opportunity, and might have been made with merchandise in mind, but not as much as the Beatman thing, right? Because it's the same thing in my mind as Yu-Gi-Oh! Not originally. Like, originally Yu-Gi-Oh! Was definitely, like, not a card game manga. But then when the card game part became popular, they made it a card game manga because they could sell cards that way. And they made a ton of money. And I never actually beat those guys. Oh, hey, what do you know? They could make a shit ton of money that way. I feel like Beatman is made to sell toys, because the way you use those toys is the same way they used in the anime. And I think that is a very, very clear distinction between things that have merchandise made of them and things that were made to sell merchandise. Obviously, everything, like every media product in it, like its basics is made to sell more stuff. That's what you do. Everything is made to sell more stuff. Always. Not even just media property. Just everything you ever see in life, it's there because somebody wants to sell you something. Which is an overly cynical way of looking at things, maybe, but not necessarily false. Anyway, let's look at the chat really quickly. There's a GBA game I Let's Played a while back, explains most of the stories. 80s and 90s kids shows in a nutshell. Yeah, but it's like not... It didn't stop there. It definitely did not stop in the 90s. That is still a thing going on. I'd argue potentially even more so now, because literally every entertainment company under the sun realizes that, yeah, making a show is fun and can make you a bit of money, but the real money is in the merchandise. So you want to make a show that sells merchandise, not make a show and then look at merchandising opportunities, right? And that is something that heavily started with Star Wars in the 80s, late 80s. No, early 80s, actually. Star Wars really started that trend. I'm not saying if it weren't for Star Wars, there wouldn't be any merchandising, because it's a logical next step, and it's not like Star Wars invented the concept of toys. Somebody was gonna combine them, but Star Wars really was the first one to combine them in such a big way and have most of the actual revenue come from merchandising sales and like toys, rather than where the fuck am I going? Rather than movie ticket sales. And that, by today's standard, is pretty common practice for large movie studios. Is to, yeah, we made like... Avengers is a really, really good example. Yeah, Endgame made over $1 billion at the box office. But that... Okay, I know where I'm going now. But that's only a relatively small part of what the Avengers brand in that same year probably made. Because all of the toys... Especially since everybody's gotten a new look in Endgame again. That's a bunch of new toys, which probably shouldn't have done this until I needed healing, but I just wanted to check out what this summon is like, because it doesn't seem to be... Actually, it's pretty good. It's dealing a fuck of a ton of damage. And you get to use it for a while as well. also Pokemon. Yeah, Pokemon is also really, really good at the whole merchandising thing. Though, that being said, it actually surprises me that the push for like having two different versions of the same game and like saying that it's because you want your player base to have like multiplayer interactions, but really it is so that you can sell more copies, because that's what's going on in reality there, right? I'm kind of amazed that that didn't become a standard to some extent in the game, and fucking hell you avoided all of that. Okay. Because that also is business stuff. It's a real smart move on Nintendo's part. Or Game Freak. I don't know who came up with that idea. I'm assuming Nintendo. It's probably Game Freak, actually. The Pokemon Company. I don't... The three very intertwined entities, and I don't know which is which half the time. Anyway. You're going up to Mountain. Yeah, I figured that out by now. Honestly, you summoned like 3-4 times the whole game. I spent... yeah, I actually didn't use any summons other than Meow Meow once in my initial playthrough of 3. But knowing that this is critical mode, I'm going to have to start getting used to using summons. So I'm trying to incorporate it a little bit more, as well as using these a bit more. These attraction flows, because those are also actually really fucking good. Powerful. They're not fun. They're just powerful. Because that's the only way I'm going to be able to finish this game in critical mode. That being said, the views are already taking a downward spiral. So maybe I'm not finishing the game at all. Just saying. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I'm quite enjoying doing a thing that's not a randomizer. So I'm not entirely sure as to what way we're going to go with that. What I do know is that we're at least going to give it like 2 more worlds. I'm still going to at least record Toy Box and... What world is after Toy Box? Is that... I think that's Twilight Town. That doesn't really count, does it? What does Deflate Dash do, actually? Okay, so that's actually... That's a finishing move. And that's me finished. You started Bayonetta 2. That is... I never answered your question, I'm sorry. Bayonetta 2 is a good option. It do be a good game. Quite sad that the views aren't that high. I mean, let's be honest here. They're still higher than any of my Pokemon Let's Plays were. They're just lower than the Kingdom Hearts randomizer. But the Kingdom Hearts randomizers, strangely enough, somehow are the most successful Let's Plays I've ever done, I think. Because they're consistently getting 30 to like 50, and over time actually generating like to 100. And some parts have like 2,000-3,000 views at this point. We're back at this base of the map. Fucking... This is why I don't like the large maps in Kingdom Hearts 3, because if... No. I'm playing in critical mode. Not if I die, when I die. You have to redo a whole bunch of shit. And I am not a huge fan of that. So, yeah. I'm gonna keep the series going just because I really want to. But I might be... I might not do everything. Like, for certain, I'm probably not going to do the Remind DLC. I've been thinking, I might have actually already said that in an episode that's gone up, but I've been thinking about when we get to the Keyblade Graveyard, just incorporating the Remind DLC into, like, doing that as the final part of the game. Because you pretty much still get all of the cutscenes you need, right? And Remind kind of is just a more interesting version of the ending, but the way the cutscenes and the storytelling for it works, I have no idea what I'm doing with all these loading screens, by the way. It doesn't really work if you haven't played the actual ending of the game. So I'm thinking maybe for like the gameplay purposes, I'll use Remind, and then for my own, like, sanity's sake, I'll add in the missing cutscenes and just do that when things become relevant and just like do it with a bit of editing magic. I don't know. I honestly don't know how I'll deal with that, because what I don't want to do is do the entirety of the Keyblade Graveyard, like the quote-unquote Keyblade War, which only has like 4 Keyblades involved, and then immediately go into Remind. That was the main issue with Remind for a lot of people, right? Is that it's just the ending of 3 over again. And after a year, it's fun to replay it. Right after the main game, it's not fun to replay that. So, I don't know how I'm going to deal with that in the Let's Play. Then again, I already have a live-streamed Let's Play of Remind, so I might just... I fucking hate Critical Mode. Finished Bayonetta 1 last week, so 2 makes sense. However, prefer these controls already more. Remind is an interesting version of the story, however, stop the repeat. That's what I mean, right? Because you're already doing the same goddamn cutscene, the one where they run into Terra. You're already watching that cutscene like 3 times in the original. Do you? It might just be 2 times. And then the 3rd time in Remind. You're watching that cutscene way too much, is my point. And if they just gave you an option where Remind gets incorporated into the main like loop of the main game and it skips some cutscenes during the main game because of it or something like that, that would be fantastic. Because right now, I'm probably not just gonna not do Remind. Because what's Remind really gonna offer me? The chance to play as secondary characters, which is fun. But for a gameplay, again, I can just use the gameplay from Remind for those fights. That's actually probably what I'm gonna end up doing. Is just play Remind, use the gameplay from those fights, and just cut them in. And then do the normal Kingdom Hearts 3 main game cutscenes. I think that makes the most sense. Also, it does not make sense to use this attraction flow right now here, but I did, so there you go. It's more than twice. Okay, so how many times do you get the Terra Nord cutscene? Because you get it when you initially get to the Keyblade Graveyard, then everybody dies to the darkness. Then you get it again. And then... you only get it twice, right? You can choose to endure this hell. I have no sympathy for you in this regard. I mean... all the death that I'm going through now... I will not be going through later. So, in that regard, it's very much a good thing, and I would very much like to use the Sonic Blade against enemies! Damn it. And not even Flare Force. Okay, I'm just fucked. This is not a fun summon to use, by the way. I don't think most summons in this game are fun to use, which is why I don't end up using them too much. But this is just straight up, like, it doesn't control very nicely at all. There's almost no satisfaction in the... oh, I don't have the ability to equip that automatically uses the finisher. That being said, though... my recharge for MP isn't... okay, so now I understand why this is so goddamn overpowered. Hold on. Because... my recharge for MP is so short that I can immediately go into the next summon almost. That is amazing. And because it also heals you and you're... okay, you're not invulnerable in summons actually, never mind. Okay, it's not particularly powerful maybe, but it's still useful. So why didn't I... Oh, it's not a recharge. I just got MP orbs. That's... Okay, never mind. Never mind. It's not that broken. Sadly. It's twice in Kingdom Hearts 3 and twice in Remind. Do you see it twice in Remind? I think you only see it once in Remind. Do you? I don't know. I haven't been here yet. Where does this lead? It leads to more enemies. 2 enemies! All of that to face 2 enemies. Okay, more than 2 enemies. Oh, we... You know what? This is a perfect moment to not have any focus. No, 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 no. No, no, no. No, 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 no. That was almost really bad. It could be 4 times in total, but I think you only see it once in Remind. It's been a while since I've played Remind. I haven't played Remind at all since its initial release, when I did it on stream. So I might be a bit hazy on the details, I'll admit that much. No, where are we? So yeah, this is gonna be my life for today. It's just getting killed by the same Heartless over and over again and pretending like this is what grinding is. It would be grinding if I didn't die over and over again and lose all my progress. I've been live for... I was gonna say 40 minutes. No, I've been live for 25. I should have been live for 40 minutes already by now. Yeah, this could be a bit dangerous. Because even shadows in these amounts can be dangerous. Then again, Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora is amazing, and we have Heroic Swing, which is actually really good to deal with a large amount of enemies like this. Use speed, not brain. Look, if I could use a speed button in Kingdom Hearts 3, I probably would. And I probably die a lot as a result of it. So that's literally everything that's up here. Okay, that was a bit of a waste of time. But hey, at least I'm exploring the worlds now. I didn't really do that before. In my original playthrough, I've only really completed the entire game once, and then I started a critical mode run, which I didn't complete. But in my original playthrough, I rushed through everything. So just having some fun exploring these worlds. This is actually the first time I'm doing that in depth. I've gone through the worlds looking for the lucky emblems, because Ultima Weapon is a bitch to get sometimes. Not as bad in this game as it is in others. Oh, now we get back here. I can do this. I would not know. I haven't played Remind. You're not missing out on much, honestly. The data fights are pretty fun. Some of them, anyway. Some of them are bullcrap. Like Xion. Xion is bullshit. It's a fun fight. It's a unique fight. It would be a unique fight if her unique mechanic didn't then immediately get stolen by the 2 boss fights you face immediately after it. Which is the fact that she can decrease your max HP during the fight. It's fun because she's like part of Sora, so she has that power, is my logic for it. But the issue is that Master Xehanort also does it, and then Yozora also does it. And I've complained about this way too many times, and potentially it does make some amount of sense, because Master Xehanort has the Keyblade, which... Who is to say what the Keyblade can and cannot do? And presumably Sora and Yozora are somewhat linked as well, so maybe that makes sense as well, given more information. But I just think it's kind of a bullshit mechanic, so I want to complain about it. But I like Xion, so I don't complain about it in Xion's fight. That's pretty much what's going on there. You never got the Ultima Weapon in Kingdom Hearts 3. It's not that bad, is it? There's a couple of really annoying things you have to do. Like, I remember the minigame in Arendelle is an absolute bitch. I guess we stun impact? Like, that minigame where you slide down the mountain and you have to get, like, certain items or something like that, that's a bitch. Getting all of the lucky emblems, so I don't even think you need all of them. I think you need, like, 80 out of 90 or 90 out of 100, something like that. It's real annoying. The ones that you need to get through synthesis, like the Moogle card system, that's pure luck. That is bullshit. I don't like that one either. There's a lot of bullshit ones. But it's not as bad as it was in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, where you literally needed to complete you pretty much needed to 100% a game to get Ultima Weapon. And then for it to not even be the strongest weapon in the game. Which is just insult to injury. Because you get the strongest weapon in the game just through normal gameplay. Because you get it when you complete Halloween Town for the second time. The Decisive Pumpkin is the best Keyblade in Kingdom Hearts 2. No ifs and no buts. It just has the most damage output. Also, it has a very, very long reach. Which does somewhat matter. Kingdom Hearts 1, it's not that bad. Until you go Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix, where it is also atrocious to get the Ultima Weapon. Less so than Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. And the original Kingdom Hearts 2 also is not as bad, but still pretty fucking bad. So get Kingdom Hearts 3, I don't think it was... I think it might actually be the easiest Ultima Weapon to get, now that I think about it. It's also probably the best Ultima Weapon. Because it's... not necessarily its shot lock. Its shot lock kind of sucks. Against huge amounts of different enemies, like right here for instance, it's pretty good. But against bosses, it sucks real bad. But then its Keyblade transformation is just Final Form on steroids. It's really, really fucking good. See, sometimes I forget that I'm playing a Final Fantasy game. Because I know there's not a Final Fantasy game necessarily, but just... It suddenly feels very Disney when those things pop up. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, because Kingdom Hearts having its own identity distinct from just being a Final Fantasy game... Sure. Oh, I also could have played the Final Fantasy VII Remake, because I own that now. And I haven't played it yet. I'm probably going to do a retrospective on the first episode of that, when the second episode is close to releasing. Though we don't have a release date. Let's go second form. We don't have a release date for that yet, I don't think, so it's not going to be anytime soon. But I do have the game now. It's ludicrously expensive, but I got it 50% off, so that's fine. I'm also, okay, I'm also working on a couple of different ideas for videos, one of which is the most clickbait video I've probably... Okay, I fucked that up. It's probably the most clickbait video I'll ever do. Or I've ever done, I should say. But I was talking with a friend of mine about what makes a game a platformer. And we came to the conclusion... Well, I came to the conclusion, I'm not going to speak for them, but I came to the conclusion that a platforming game is a game where the main obstacle between you and finishing the game is jumping between platforms. And that might sound really, really obvious, but there's a lot of games that we consider to be platformers which don't necessarily follow that rule set, because we were talking about Rayman 2, and I don't think Rayman 2 really fits that description, because the main antagonistic force from a gameplay perspective in Rayman 2 isn't really the platforming, because you have this copter ability and it's maybe just really easy and I'm just too good at the game, but in that definition I don't think Rayman 2 necessarily is a platforming game. I would more so call it a adventure game in that case. And then we came to the question, but if that's the case, is Mario Sunshine even a platformer? And I would argue more so than Rayman 2, but maybe not. So I'm thinking about making a video, a like an analysis video, a discussion video, with the title, Mario Sunshine is not a platformer. That would be such an egregious, a clickbait title. I kind of want to do it. Anyway, so let me go over the chat real quickly because I haven't looked at it in a while. I'd exclude Chain of Memories. Is there even an ultimate weapon in Chain of Memories? I'm assuming there is. I just wouldn't know where or how to get it. So yeah, maybe Chain of Memories is more difficult because I have no idea where it is. So by virtue of that, it will be more difficult for me to get. Vlogger, how big is your unplayed backlog? Real big. Like, so big that everything that's on my list of games I want/should play, there's no way that I'm gonna play all of them. Because the list is growing quicker than I can play games. So, the list is only gonna keep getting longer and longer and longer. But it's a pretty long list of games that I still want to play. But it's really difficult for me to get into games sometimes. As discussed earlier in this very same stream. I'd say the gamer amount. I have no idea what that's in reference to. Probably my discussion about what makes a platformer a platformer. And I don't know if I'll actually make that video, but I kind of want to make that video just because a lot of people would be very annoyed. And I think that's kind of funny. That is literally all there is to it. I think it would be kind of funny. Also, I do think that if it gets picked up in any kind of algorithmic boost, it would probably get a lot of... I don't know if it would generate a lot of watch time, because people would probably not watch the entire video. But it would probably generate quite a lot of clicks, because it is an egregious thing to say. And it's very easy to make a thumbnail for it as well. Just like have Mario with Flood on its back, a screenshot, circle around it, arrow pointing towards it with the text, not a platformer. Like, it literally writes itself. It is so goddamn easy to make that video. And, like, the only issue is I would have to replay Mario Sunshine and, like, actually complete the game this time around. Because I don't have a lot of memories of it. So I'd probably... I'd probably not do it. But I kind of want to, is the thing. I was commenting on how big your backlog is. Oh, well, my backlog in videos is absolutely non-existent. Well, I think 3 episodes of this series have gone up, and obviously we've already completed Olympus in the recording. So, in videos, it's 2 videos at the moment. As I said, in the amount of games that I want to play, not just solely for YouTube, but just in general, it's amazing how many games one can want to play yet not be playing. I'll probably, most of the like huge important games that I want to play, I'll probably find a reason to make videos on, to have a reason to like be playing them. Like trick myself into making work out of playing those games so that I actually end up playing them, is what that really is. And I think that's like Final Fantasy VII, for instance. I got the game last month during a sale. I'm probably not going to end up playing it until I can make a video out of it, and the timing is also right for that video. I have The Last of Us. I know that I'm a bit late on The Last of Us 2, but maybe we can hope for The Last of Us 3, because it's a very, very successful game franchise at this point. So there's probably going to be something rather to do with it in the future. And who knows? Maybe that can be a reason for me to do a video on The Last of Us. I can't just randomly do a video on that, right? I mean, I've been pretty much doing videos randomly on games. Regardless of... This is gonna be interesting. regardless of how they would like do in SEO terms. But I do want to pay a bit of attention to that where possible. I have no idea where this leads. Again, I am lost. I also got like 3 abilities, I think. Or 1. What does this do? Team up with Donald and roast your foes. Combo finisher near Donald. I don't know if I necessarily want that. Let's see if I have any other auto finish. Yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. MP haste I also want, and then probably auto finish. MP haste just because, especially if we're going to be using summons a lot, I do think that... Oh, this is not good. Yeah, that doesn't really do that much damage, so let's just keep doing this instead. Can I... Again, I would very much like to understand what this deflate dash is. It's just another attack, it's not actually a finisher. Okay, that's good to know. I can't wait until I get Simba. Again, I think Simba is one of the most powerful summons in the games, right? That's what I remember people saying anyway. I don't know if that's actually true. But I do think that's the summon people mostly use during the data fights, is what I remember. So, I'm assuming that means it's the most powerful. Because why the hell would you use anything that's not the most powerful in the data fights?
The storm is gone.
The storm indeed is gone.
See, we've got a better way up now.
Huh, that we do. I actually didn't know that these things would appear after completing the world. I've never gone this far up, I don't think. In Kingdom Hearts 3. Is there any enemies in this place? No, this is just one very... This could be a boss fight arena. There could have been a secret boss. You could have placed Sephiroth here. You could have placed Sephiroth here. Captain in Olympus. This would have been a great arena to fight Sephiroth in. Why isn't Sephiroth in here? I'm still a little bit salty about Sephiroth not being in Kingdom Hearts 3, can you tell? I guess we're going back down. So, what are we going to talk about now? Because I am level 8. I guess I want to try to get to level 10, maybe? I don't know. I don't really think, honestly, that Olympus is a great way to do level grinding. I think there's other worlds that are way better for that. You enter the former boss fight with the Titans on top of Olympus. Well, yeah, I know that. I literally did that fight for like an hour this week. I recorded that this week, and it was brutal. It was absolutely brutal. So I know what that place is used for, but there's not even normal enemies in there after you complete the world. So after you complete the world, it could have been used. Maybe later on, there will be more difficult enemies that spawn there that don't spawn yet because we haven't completed the game yet or something. That could be entirely possible. I just feel like that area shouldn't go to waste. Because it's a big area. It's a nice area. You could have done something with it. It probably has one of the battle gates, doesn't it? Oh, I meant to use second form. It probably has one of the battle gates, I bet. It should. If it doesn't, it should. Topic. Which anniversary will go unnoticed this year from Nintendo? Yeah, doesn't Nintendo have like 1 billion anniversaries this year? Can you list them all for me? Because I have no idea which franchises and games actually have anniversaries. I'm assuming literally everything. And then I'll give you the answer as to what I think will go unnoticed. Then again, just by nature of you giving me the list, they won't go completely unnoticed. But what people care less about. So if it's like the 25th anniversary of Mario... Fucking... I don't know. Unless it's on harder difficulty, I don't remember fighting a gate there. Okay, so then maybe there just isn't anything there. Which is a bit of a shame. Because it's literally the end of this world. It's the apex, it's the climax of the entire world. And it's literally unused afterwards. Like I think most significant locations... This is just fun to do. I think most significant locations like that do at least get something post-game, right? Maybe not. Maybe it's just a couple.
How did that Titan survive a fall from all the way up here?
Because it's a Titan.
Fought a Titan on the side of a mountain? Sora, that's amazing.
I do like these post-completion little bits of dialogue. The ones in Monstropolis are really fucking annoying though, because literally all they say is, if it weren't for you guys and our new friends, this factory would have been closed down. And they just keep saying that over and over again. There's no variety to what they say at all in Monstropolis. It's real bad. I'll look at the anniversaries in a moment when I'm not in immediate danger of death. Okay, Pokemon 25. Definitely nobody's going to skip out on that. Zelda 35. Nobody's going to skip out on that. Metroid 35. Probably people won't give a shit because Metroid's been pretty dead for a while. The Wii 15 years. I don't think anybody's going to give a shit. Donkey Kong. I don't think anybody is going to really give a shit. Kid Icarus. Maybe. Golden Sun, nobody's gonna care. 3DS, 10 years. Look, I take that as a personal attack. GameCube, 20 years. The GameCube was underwhelming as is anyway, sales-wise. Super Mario Brothers, new 15... Whoa. New Super Mario Brothers is 15 years old. I do not appreciate you lying to me. Because that cannot be true. It is true, I know. But that is bonkers. That is absolutely wow. They do like New Super Mario Bros. A lot though, over at Nintendo HQ, so it'll probably do something with that. Diamond and Pearl, 15 years. Yeah, people still think Gen 4 remakes are gonna happen this year. I still say probably not. But, okay, that was a big mistake. But hey, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there will be Diamond Pearl Platinum remakes. And I honestly hope that I am wrong. Because that could be the saving grace for Gen 8. Then again, I kind of, for my own sake, hope that it will be not Gen 4 remakes now. And that they wait until Gen 9 for that. Because then they'll actually be good. It's a bit early to get me a high Ather. But sure. And then we have... N64. Okay, the N64 is definitely going to get some anniversary love. Because everybody loves that console. And I think the N64 might honestly, together with the PlayStation 1... Or maybe PlayStation 2, actually. But I think N64 outranks both of them. I think that might be the most loved console of all time. Like, maybe the GBA? Or the Nintendo DS. Wait a second, the Nintendo DS as well. For home consoles, I think the N64, without a doubt, is the most loved out of everything. I would dare say that that is a reasonable assessment of its popularity. Let's go Lucario. Please no. That would be really stupid. I mean, if they want to go a Let's Go game rather than like Shining Diamonds and Glistening Pearl or whatever the fuck they would call it, I'd probably on the Switch in Gen 8, I probably prefer that, honestly. I still kind of doubt that they would do that, but it would be less upsetting for me. So I guess that's a thing. 2006. Holy crap! It has been 15 years. I remember playing that game. Maybe not like day one release, but I remember playing that game on the DS. Well, it was at least relatively new. So that's kind of... Hold on a moment. This seems like an area of effect kind of deal, so... Can I just murder everybody with this? No, I cannot, is the answer. The Keyblade itself is so much better, though, than the Kingdom Key, it feels. I don't know if that's actually true. I'll check its stats in a moment, but it feels like it's a lot stronger. I'll check its stats right now. It's a bit stronger, but not for magic purposes, so... I said they'll reveal it in fall 2020 with a fall 2022 release day. They could. They could. That is more reasonable. I don't think it will be a 2021 release, because I'm sure that if it was, by now we would have known about it, right? Unless it's like very close to the end of 2020. When do Pokemon games usually release? Usually it's like November-ish, right? Like October, November? Around that time frame? So it could be. It could still be announced. But in general, I'd say you want to be at least half a year out when you announce a game. You don't want to announce a game and say it's coming out in 3 months. Because there goes any potential for marketing. So they still could announce it. I just doubt it. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Let's try Counter Shield. I don't like it, but maybe it's better than I remember it being. Actually, that's not too bad. Oh yeah, actually, I quite like that. Never mind. That's pretty good. I just don't like the finisher, that's it. Now I remember. And this is why. Because this carriage bullshit is just... You can't see anything in it, that's the issue. Flowing time and expanding space. That doesn't incorporate the words Diamond and Pearl, though. I like those titles a lot more than what they would actually use. But that does make me think, maybe a remake of Explorers of Sky? Or Time and Darkness, but they probably would just go Sky, right? Because it's the same game, but slightly better. In the same way they did with Red and Blue Rescue Team. I would very much like that. Because I fucking love the art style they went with for those remakes. If they could do the Explorers games, like the best. Okay, I'm gonna... Maybe a bit of a hot take. The best Pokemon games. I genuinely think that there's a real good argument to make for them to be the best Pokemon games. Like, not the best Pokemon spin-off, just the best Pokemon games. I very much like that in that updated art style, because I like the way that art style looks. Most of the time, it's a holidays game. Yeah, so probably like around November, because you want to have the opportunity to get some sales in before the holidays, but you definitely want to still have it relevant on shelves during the holidays. Like, fully stocked. So not more than a month before Christmas. Maybe 2 months because it's Pokemon. Are we level 9? Yeah, we are. It makes sense. Probably started production late 2019, got sidetracked due to COVID, with the production only resuming late 2020, early 2021. I mean, it could be the case. And you could say that they want to salvage the bad press they got with Gen 8 by releasing something they know people will love. I'd argue that you could also say they want to leave Gen 8 behind them because it was a clusterfuck in a lot of different ways. And maybe, you know, they could update, they probably will update the game engine quite a lot when they make the remake, because they always do that. So all of the issues with how the game looks and runs, some of those can be resolved by just like some more development time on the engine and just some more development time, period. So maybe it wouldn't necessarily be a bad game if it wasn't Gen 8. I just don't really like Gen 8. I'm very sorry. I'm one of the people who defends Gen 7. I really like Gen 7. And I've always liked Gen 5. I'm very glad that it's now a popular opinion. It wasn't always. I don't like Gen 8. Game will be out in 1 or 2 months. Which game? Paper Mario, Origami King, Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity. Yeah, but that's like different. Pikmin 3, DX, also an example. I still wish Metroid Prime Trilogy, no longer 4KH collections for Switch. Kingdom Hearts is not going to come to the Switch. Okay, Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory being on the Switch was because that game was made to be played on the Switch. That game works really well as a Switch game because it's great to play as a home console game. But if you just have like headphones in and portable mode, I can see Melody of Memories. It's a rhythm game. It's really nice to be able to take it on the go. That's why it's on the Switch, not because Kingdom Hearts is making a move to the Switch. I do not believe it. Anyway, Keyblade Forge. We're going to upgrade Hero's Origin. We're going to upgrade it twice, actually, because I do think that that's going to help me quite a bit. So sadly, I don't think anything Kingdom Hearts related will really be coming to the Switch. I just do not see that happening. It's kind of like... In a way, it's kind of weird that it even got Melody of Memory. And I honestly think it only got that because of how well it matches up from a gameplay perspective. But, I don't know. Putting the HD collections on there implies that there's going to be more in the future. And I just don't think that Kingdom Hearts 3 would run at all on a Switch. I just do not believe that that would be a thing that could happen. So a potential Kingdom Hearts 4 or whatever the hell it will be probably also won't run on the Switch, or, well, more likely by that time like the Switch 5, because we know what Kingdom Hearts development is like. For the time being, we've got Union Cross and Dark Road, which... Dark Road is shaping up to be interesting, at least. I'm assuming this is based on magic damage. So maybe the Kingdom Key would be better for this, but with the 2 upgrades I actually put on this, I think it should be better for magic as well. Yeah, the story is so... Yeah, so you don't own a PS4. Huh. I mean, almost nobody owns a PS5 at this point, because they're still sold out everywhere, I think, right? Has it been fixed yet? Has the supply thing been fixed with the PS5 yet? I don't know. But a lot of people own a PS5. I would very much like a PS5, but... Okay, let's talk about this, right? Let's talk about this, because this is going to be an interesting topic we can stick on for a while. I want to get a PS5 probably sometime this year. I'm just not entirely sure if I want to get the disc version or discless version. Because the discless version is cheaper. And by and large, I buy most of my games digital. But my Kingdom Hearts games, I have physical. Just because it's kind of like a collector's thing, right? I want to have the physical discs and the boxes. If I get a discless PS5, I wouldn't be able to play Kingdom Hearts 3, for instance, on the PS5. Because I don't think having a disc on a PS4, like, I don't think that allows you to get a digital download on PS5, does it? If it does, that is the answer to my question. So, if I get a discless PS5, I cannot sell my PS4 Pro. If I get one with a disc drive in it, I can just sell my PS4 Pro, and that saves me like 100 to 150 bucks on buying the new thing. But then you gotta think, is it really worth it? Because if you save like 150 bucks on buying the PS5, but then you also save 100 bucks if you just buy the discless version, why not just buy the discless version and have both consoles? Right? So, I don't really know what I want to do with that. Again, if I can play my physically owned games on a discless PS5 just by like registering them online, that would be the answer. That's what I would do, because at that point, I could sell my PS4 and buy I could get like a good deal on both ends. I would buy a cheaper thing, and also, come on, I'm walking towards the glittery things. I would sell my PS4 and buy a cheaper PS5. So at that point, I would have like, I'd pretty much be paying half price for the PS5. Do you buy games digital, then get the digital edition? Do you want to buy them physically, then physical with discs? That is the thing though, most of my games are digital. It's only the Kingdom Hearts games that I have physical. And if there's a Kingdom Hearts 5 on PS5 and I end up getting the discless version, I'll just buy Kingdom Hearts 4. Did I say Kingdom Hearts 5? I'll just buy Kingdom Hearts 4 digital. That doesn't bother me. The idea of if I buy things digitally, I'll not be able to play them at a certain point in the future is bullshit. Because the same thing goes for things you buy on disc these days. Because if you buy a disc, the disc is pretty much just a code. It's just a key for you to get the rest of the game off the cloud. Because when you put the disc in your PlayStation, you still need to download like 100 gigabytes of game. So the idea of when the server shut down, at least I'll still have my disc games, that is bullshit. That's not how that works anymore. So I don't really see any benefit to buying games on disc other than for collection purposes. I think digital is the way to go, because honestly, it's also going to speed things up. Reading the games off of that crazy fast SSD in the PS5 is going to be faster than reading them off disc. It's just that easy. And then there's also a bit of a tinfoil hat thing I have going. I have no proof for this, but presumably we know that consoles usually don't have very good airflow in them for cooling purposes, right? Because they are very, like, they have to be relatively small form factor, so they're very packed, so they don't have a lot of space for air to flow through, and as a result, cooling suffers. I have a theory, which, again, I would very much like somebody that actually, like, knows what they're doing to test. I have a theory that the all-digital version, because it won't have the disk drive built in it, will have more open space and, as a result, potentially better airflow. Is that going to give you better FPS? No, but it might actually make the console a tiny bit quieter, is my theory on the matter. And for Let's Play purposes, having a just a loud fan next to your microphone is better than having a jet engine next to your microphone. So that is also something that is worth considering. Anyway, chat. Personally, I think I prefer physical discs, but I've gotten a lot of digital copies lately. Yeah, I'm kind of in between. Currently unsure concerning your answer. PS5 digital, play PS4 game discs through downloading. Okay, but still, okay, so answer me with yes or no on this one, because I want to be 1000% sure on this. If I have a PS4 disc, can I play that game on an all-digital PS5? Just yes or no. That's what I want to know. Because if the answer to that question is yes, first and foremost, thank God Sony, because that is really nice of them. Because it would have been really easy to not make that backwards compatible and just still force people to buy things they don't necessarily maybe want to buy. But that answers my question. That means that I'm going to get the all-digital PS5, because I don't need a disc drive in my console. I'll just be buying all my games digitally, and I'll be saving money. Especially since games are going to be more expensive on this new console. I thought I'm an old man, though I'm an old man partially stuck in the past. We all have a bit of that going on. Look, most of my game library, most of which I do not play, but most of my game library is on Steam. Like, I have 600, 700 games on Steam, something like that. So, most of my games are already digital. And to a certain extent, I held on to the idea of physically owning the games I buy. But once I realized the thing that I said just now, that being, it doesn't really make a difference, because the disc only allows you to download the rest of the game anyway, right? So you don't physically own it. The moment the servers go down, that disc is as useless as having something on your account bought. So, for me personally, I don't see a benefit in getting physical copies of games anymore. But to each their own, obviously. To each their own. Interesting find, PS5 may have issues with sound. Specifically a buzzing noise. Oh, that is fantastic. Wait a second, what the hell is buzzing if you don't have a disk drive? Is it just a fan that's prone to get loose or something like that? Because I don't see what would be buzzing if you don't have. I'd say no, based on the fact that you typically need to insert a disc to get the game. Yeah, that is what I'm thinking, right? But if I insert it in my PS4, because you need to download, like Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm playing this right now. When I inserted the game into my console, it still needed to download like 30 gigs of data before I could play it. That's what I'm getting at with the, you don't physically own the game even though you think you do. So, surely, the fact that I have a physical copy of Kingdom Hearts 3, inserted it into my PlayStation and downloaded it, could also, like, trigger something in my PlayStation Network account telling PlayStation Network, hey, this dude owns this game, and then when I log into that same account on PS5, it would let me download the game as a digital download. I do see how that could be misused in just using a single disc to get everybody in the world a digital download. But you could limit it to one. Maybe. I don't know if you could do that. You probably couldn't, actually. I don't know. I feel like there probably is a way to do something about that. At least what I'm explaining now would be possible, right? Just whenever you install a game from a disc on a PS4, it just gets added as a digital download possibility to your PS5 account. Because it's still the same accounts, it's still the same systems. Like software systems, that is. Apparently it has to do with the fans. Yeah, nothing else in there would be buzzing. I mean, a bit of coil whine maybe from like the graphics card, but that's not buzzing. That's whining. I think the key analogy is rather fitting. Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I think so too. That's why I keep using it, because I think that is literally what a physical disc is in 2021. It's just a download key. The disc is the key and PSN is the lock. Like, systematically it could work. I don't know if Sony allows this. That's the issue. Once I know if Sony allows this or not, I can make a decision on whether or not to get one PS5. Eventually, not anytime soon, but eventually. Get one PS5 model or the other. Literally, that is what it comes down to. Because if that's how it works, if I can just use my physical disc in my PS4 to enable PS5 downloads, I'll get it all digital. And I feel like that's what they want. I feel like that's what they want you to buy, is the all digital. Because it saves them a lot of bullshit as well, I imagine, with having to print discs and all that kind of stuff. So I can definitely see an incentive there. Anyway, well, I've got all the priorities, so good luck with grinding. Yeah, once we reach level 10, I'll probably just like do a couple of data fights on my standard mode or beginner mode, I don't even know. Save file, and I'll probably end the stream, because actually, we don't have that long to go anyway. Like half an hour at most. So start thinking about which data fight I have to take on, because I think I'm about to level up. Maybe I'm already level 10. I'm really close to leveling up, holy hell. The enemies down here do not exist, never mind.
Hey, the storm is gone.
That's okay. See?
I'm thinking,
Way up now.
I don't know who I want to fight for data fights. Definitely I'm not going to be fighting Yuzora, because fuck that. I'll probably fight Yuzora once or twice. Just for old time's sake, right? But fuck that fight. And then we have Luxord, which is, no, I don't like that fight. Malusha. It's better than this Kingdom Hearts 2 fight, I'll tell you that much. Shion. Nah, don't really like it. Xehanort. Maybe Master Xehanort. Maybe I'll fight Master Xehanort, because I actually very much like his data fight. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Master Xehanort's data fight is kind of what his actual final boss fight should have been like, if like difficulty spikes weren't an issue. Because that is what I imagined the power of the Keyblade to be. Is absolutely overpowered, teleporting, and like filling the entire stage with hazards. Kind of powerful. And then we also have Terranord, which is a decent fight. Ansem and Xemnas I don't like as much. Xigbar I don't really remember that well, honestly. I think I leveled up. Did I? Yeah, I definitely leveled up. I'm level 10 now. Okay, let's get to a save point. I have found a save point. That was very quick. And let's switch over to... Oh, we could do Melody of Memories. We could do a bit of... We could do a bit of music. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. For right now, I'm going to go... Maybe I'll do a bit of both. What I want to do first is take a sip of water. No, not continue. I wanted to load game. I could have also just died. It's really easy for me to... Actually, it's probably easier for me to die than to go back to the loading screen. main menu. We are on a loading screen right now. Again, PS5 would fix that issue also. Just kill me. Donald, if you dare to heal me, I am going to be upset. The one time I don't want you to heal me. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. Don't you dare to heal me. Do not heal me. Somebody attack. You healed me. You fucking healed me. Dude, attack me. Thank you. Everybody attack me. Thank you. Load. Or we could just do the final boss again. I'm also still kind of puzzled by the fact why Kingdom Hearts 3 suddenly only has 9 save slots. I still don't quite understand that. Because Kingdom Hearts, every Kingdom Hearts game before, well, not every Kingdom Hearts game before, I think Days only had 3 save slots, but that's Kingdom Hearts Days, nobody likes that game. Okay, we've got Xion, we've got Vanitas, we've got Terranaut, we've got Marluxia, we've got Luxord, we've got... Oh, this one's actually not beaten Master Xehanort yet. Which means that I'm definitely in the wrong... Oh, Young Xehanort and Riku also. Oh, that's a couple of interesting... A couple of interesting options we got there. And some... Oh, Loroxane, Saïx. I think Riku would be fun to fight again. Does it matter how many save slots a game has? Yeah, because I've got all my save slots filled. So if I want to save... If I want to restart a new game, especially with the DLC, because you got to place the DLC in separate save slots, right? So you need at least 2 save slots for a DLC. And then you need 1 save slot for your normal main playthrough, and that's already 3 save slots. And if you want to make a save, which a lot of people, especially in Kingdom Hearts, do, I guess this is the one we need then. Like, for instance, people make saves before the 1000 Heartless fights in Kingdom Hearts 2, so that they can just replay that fight over and over again, because it's a very fun fight. I would very much disagree, because I've done that fight like 4 times in the past like 6 months, so I'm kind of over it. But there's certain fights that you can't replay any other way, that you want to make a save file for being able to replay that fight easily. People do that. And with 99 save slots, you have all the potentiality in the world to do that. Not to mention, okay, the one thing I'll give this game is, back in the day, having more save slots on like a PS2 or a PS3, well, PS1 or PS2 game made sense, because you might have like a little brother or a little sister that also wants to have their own save files. On the PS4, obviously, you have your own profile, which also has your own save files. And if you really need more, you can just make a separate profile and get 9 more save files that way. So it's not really that big of a deal, but I just don't understand why they... Like, if it was always 9, it probably wouldn't have bothered me. But Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 literally have 99 save slots.
I'll show you how powerful I am.
And, okay, I actually need to focus here for a moment, because I have forgotten how... Oh my god! Do you see how much more advanced these combos are compared to what we were just doing? This is why I like Kingdom Hearts 3's combat. This feels so much fucking better. I'm sorry to say, but this feels more satisfying than Kingdom Hearts 2's combat. I fucking love it. It's also a lot more chaotic, I'll give you that. That is certainly true. But it's so satisfying. I'll actually, you know what? Let's use King's Flare. I think Firaga Leap is the one that's supposed to deal a lot of damage. Not really. It's not really dealing that much damage, honestly. That didn't really deal that much damage. So maybe it's not the best summon after all. Probably because you were just guarding a lot. You know a character is just absolutely ultimate Kingdom Hearts if one of his battle quotes is just straight up darkness. Wait, if you are... I didn't know that. If you're in Rage form, you can't actually switch Keyblades. You're stuck with the Keyblade you were using when you transformed. That is very, very interesting. I'm also kind of done with you, so please feel free to fuck off. Let's go for Aerial. Oh, wait a second. Aerial is quick time events. I don't like that. Not one bit, because it's not really damaging me at all. Well, it's not damaging me, so that's good. Oh, wait a second. You do have control over it. Never mind. Okay, Aerial sucks real bad. This is actually a pretty decent way of... Oh. Could I have done anything during that? I don't know. This is actually a pretty decent way of... testing out the summons. Yeah, I didn't really hit Riku like almost at all with Simba, so that might have been part of the issue. I didn't hit him at all with Aerial either, I think. Let's try Simba again. Issue is he's very quick and Simba isn't. I'm actually hitting him, but I'm not dealing damage. This is getting weirder with the second. It's probably because I was just going through his ultimate move there, his DM. But even as rusty as I am in Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts in general, maybe, at least as far as like the difficult high-end fight goes, I annihilated Riku. Like, a lot. Simba isn't great against fast bones, that makes sense. So probably not use him against young Xehanort either, is what I'm hearing. I'm gonna fight young Xehanort, just because I think it's a fun fight. Or your Zora for that matter, because he's also a speedy boy. That's my issue. That's always my issue. The difficult fights in Kingdom Hearts are always against the quick opponents. Things that deal a lot of damage aren't necessarily the issue. It's the things that move fast and get out of the way quickly. And teleport away out of your fucking combos. At least this dude has a catchy theme song, otherwise I'd hate him. No, time did not stop, in fact. Time is still going on, and in that time that's going on, you are getting absolutely annihilated. So am I. So, that's not what I wanted to do. Well, let's give it another shot. Maybe this time I can understand it a bit better.
Let's go.
Okay, wait a second. What you do is you splash, and then you dive, and then you splash. Okay, that's how you deal damage with aerial. I understand now. That one actually requires timing, which is strange. Very strange to me. It's almost like we're playing a rhythm game. Yeah, maybe don't do that against young Xehanort, because oh my god, that was a lot of damage. Hey, now I can teleport too, so fuck you. Is it saying? Oh, I was looking at the chat. Probably should not look at the chat midstream. His attacks take too long to hit. Be useful against fast targets. Yeah, they do. And I think pretty much all the organization members are fast targets. Let's try Yozora a couple of times, just for shits and giggles. As you can see, I'm very rusty with the combat mechanics. Because even on lower difficulty, I'm getting killed by not necessarily the most difficult bosses. I just want to give it a shot. I know this is not going to work. I just want to give it a shot. Wait a second. How do I unlock Yozora again? Why? Oh, hold on. Wait a second. What? I don't understand. Do I fight Yozora by backing out of this and then talking to the fairy godmother as Riku and then I fight Yozora as Sora? Because that makes sense. It doesn't. I'm assuming that's what it must be.
You know Master Yansu.
Nope, that's not what it is. Is it you?
Not one.
Nope.
We'll go and look for.
It's definitely not you.
So there's a.
Wait a second.
You'll tell Kairi about it. So there's a clue inside Riku's dream?
Why are you saying it that way to Riku? That is just weird. Like if somebody asked me something and used my name as in the third person in that question, I'd feel disrespected. A little bit, at least. So yeah, now how do we get to the Yozora fight? Is it just a different... Hold on, is it just a different save file? It might just be a different save file. Oh, wait a second, it's special... no, it's downloadable content. No data grading. Could do a bit of that as well. I think that's how we do. This one has slightly more time in it, so let's use that one. I think this loads you into... Yeah, that loads you into the usual, I think. I thought it was... The thing... which in Kingdom Hearts 2 brings you back to normal Hollow Bastion, right? That pathway opens up and lets you fight Yozora. And I think that also is partly true. I think that's what happens the first time you fight him. She's gonna put in some items. Maybe I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. Never mind. Let's give it 1 or 2 tries, and then I'll get the hell out of here, because this stream wasn't even supposed to be Kingdom Hearts. This stream was supposed to be Dragon Ball Pokemon.
Got this. You're done. Got this.
No.
Power is mine.
Okay, I already lost this one, because now you have my Keyblade. Which is very much not good for me. I think you just dodge roll infinitely. I'm dead. That's how quickly things can go. I'm just dead. Fucking hell. This is the only boss in the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series that I've never beaten. Literally the only one. It's probably also... Well, it's not going to be the only one that I never beat, because Kingdom Hearts 4 is going to have another bullshit fight.
Got this.
Which I won't beat.
Your power is mine.
Look, I probably should just be less greedy with the amount of damage I deal against him. Just wait my moment, play like a Dark Souls boss. Because that's what this dude is. I've watched, by the way, I have watched the 45, I don't even remember, minute long video on all of Yuzora's moves. Like, the breakdown of all of his moves. It takes more than half an hour to do. I'll watch that video. And still, it's not really helping me that much.
This'll do it. No chance.
You really gotta watch him. And that's something that I just generally do not do that much. And I'm dead. In that regard, he's a bit of the opposite of what Terra was. Terra is a very reactionary fight. He doesn't really give a lot of tells of what he's about to do, but whenever he does something, it's not too difficult to counter it. Yozora is, you need to know what he does before he does it, otherwise you're fucked. And that is something I am just not that good at, especially with small fights like small humanoid bosses like Yozora. He's at the other side of the arena. I can't see what he's doing. And his like animation tells are really small. You know what? Maybe Meow Meow. We're in the dream world after all, aren't we? I think we are. We're in the final world. Same thing. So far, Meow Meow is the best I've done so far, I think. Which is really fucking sad. Yeah, no. Meow Meow isn't really doing anything either.
Got this. You're done. Got this. There. Now. This'll do it. This'll do it. Nope.
Maybe I should be using a countering move.
You thought you'd win?
I think that's the trick. Okay, I'm going to give it one more shot using counter moves. And if that doesn't end up working... and also, if it does end up working, this is the last attempt. Actually, if it does end up working, maybe I'll give it another shot.
Your power is mine.
Okay, so maybe don't rely too much on that, and also look at what attack he's actually doing before you block. I'm just going to let you kill me. Please attack me.
You thought you'd win?
That's how we do. I would like to believe that this is Sora's perspective of the final boss of Melody of Memory. That is definitely not the case, but it would be a fun theory.
No chance.
Also, quick stepping is a thing, by the way. I keep forgetting that. Or air stepping. I keep calling it quick stepping. I don't know why.
It's on.
Oh, my HP is gone. Fantastic. Rage Form gets you your max HP. Okay, that is actually useful information. That makes this fight like 5% more doable. Which isn't a lot, but more than nothing. I don't think Rage Form can guard, can it? Oh, it can.
Now.
Kind of.
You lost. Got this. Your power is mine.
I mean, if you want to take Rage Form from me, sure. But you're going to take my Keyblade, which is significantly worse.
There.
Obviously, without a weapon, you can't block. You know what? Let's just... I've shown that I am incapable of beating this fight unless I put in like 10 hours of practice, and I'm just not willing to do that at this point. So that's been this week's stream. It's I'm going to... Yeah, you lost. It's that's the canonical ending, actually, if you didn't know. Next week, hopefully, we'll be back with Pokemon Dragon Ball Z Team Fighter Trainer, whatever. I'll try to, like, with Speed Button and maybe Poke-Hexing. I could have just Poke-Hexed everybody up to level 50. I'm an idiot. I was so fixed on the rare candy cheat code not working that I didn't even think about the fact that Poke-Hex still does work. Because we just made it with level 50 in Poke-Hex and just absolutely stomped it. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I'll do that for next week. Bye. I'll also do all of the things that I did in the last stream off screen. So that next week we can just start at Broly again. That was probably the most... that was... Such a late realization for something that I already did. I already used Poke-Hex on the save file. I know that it works. It's just a Fire Red save file. See ya.